Number 1. That you're consistently rational, the logic illusion. You know how you pride yourself on being a logical, rational individual. You weigh the pros and cons, consider the evidence, and make well-thought-out decisions. You navigate the world with a cool, calm, and collected intellect, right? But what if your brain is constantly telling you a giant self-serving lie, insisting on your unwavering rationality, while simultaneously engaging in a daily, high-stakes game of cognitive biases, mental shortcuts, and outright self-deception? Prepare to have your intelligent self-image utterly shattered by the raw, messy truth of how your mind actually works. Imagine you're making a big decision, buying a new car, choosing a career path, or even just picking what to eat for lunch. Your brain, the ultimate spin doctor, will tirelessly work to convince you that every choice you make is the result of careful, objective reasoning. What's actually happening is that you're constantly falling prey to phenomena like confirmation bias, seeking out information that confirms what you already believe. The Dunning-Kruger effect, overestimating your own competence, or anchoring bias, relying too heavily on the first piece of information you hear. Your rational decision-making process is actually a chaotic carnival of mental shortcuts, emotional impulses, and self-serving justifications, all designed to make you feel smart, even when you're being anything but. The real disturbing part is that your brain is a master of retrospective justification. Once you've made a choice, it will immediately start generating convincing reasons why it was the only logical option, even if those reasons weren't present during the actual decision-making process. It's not trying to deceive others. It's trying to deceive you, to maintain your sense of being a competent, intelligent individual. Your rational facade is simply your brain's elaborate PR campaign, constantly assuring you that you're living in a world of pure logic, while subtly guiding you through a minefield of irrationality. So, while you might think you're a bastion of reason, your brain is telling you a disturbing lie every day, insisting on your consistent rationality. It's a low-key red flag that your internal monologue is often just a carefully constructed narrative of self-deception. The logic illusion fact proves that sometimes the most comforting beliefs are quietly masking your profound irrationality, and the only thing getting ruined is your ego. Number 2, that you're always in control, the illusion of agency. You know how you wake up, decide what you're going to do, and then proceed to execute your plans, feeling like the captain of your own ship, steering your life with conscious intent. You make choices, exert willpower, and feel firmly in charge of your actions. But what if your brain is constantly telling you a profound, almost unsettling lie, insisting on your ultimate control while secretly being swayed by unconscious biases, environmental cues, and internal processes you're entirely unaware of? Prepare to have your sense of free will feel a little less free and a lot more pre-programmed. Imagine you're reaching for that second slice of pizza. Don't worry. We've all been there. You feel like you're consciously making that choice. But what if your brain made that decision milliseconds before you were even aware of it? Groundbreaking neuroscience research has shown that neural activity corresponding to a decision can occur in the brain before a person is consciously aware of having made that decision. Furthermore, your environment, your mood, even the time of day, are subtly nudging your choices in ways you never consciously register. Your willpower might just be your brain rationalizing an impulse it already had. The real unsettling part is that your brain's primary job isn't always to be logical or consciously aware of its every mechanism. It's to keep you alive and make you feel good about it. So, it constructs a compelling narrative of conscious control, providing you with a comforting illusion of agency. This isn't to say free will doesn't exist at all, but it suggests it operates on a much more complex, and often unconscious, level than we commonly believe. Your sense of being fully in charge is often just your brain's brilliant public relations team, ensuring you feel like the protagonist of your own life story, even when a whole bunch of unseen forces are pulling the strings. So, while you might think you're always calling the shots, your brain is telling you a disturbing lie every day, insisting on your ultimate control. It's a low-key red flag that your sense of agency is far more fluid than you realize. The illusion of agency fact proves that sometimes. The most fundamental beliefs about ourselves are quietly masking the complex, often unconscious, forces at play. And the only thing getting ruined is your feeling of being the absolute boss of your own brain. Number 3, that you're objective about yourself. The self-serving bias shield. You know how you strive to be fair, balanced, and see things as they truly are, especially when evaluating your own abilities, contributions, or flaws. You pride yourself on self-awareness, on being able to accurately assess yourself without undue favoritism. But what if your brain is constantly telling you a deeply ingrained, highly flattering lie? A perpetual internal monologue that systematically inflates your positives and minimizes your negatives, all to protect your delicate ego. Prepare to have your objective self-assessment utterly dismantled by the omnipresent self-serving bias shield. Imagine getting a performance review at work. If it's positive, your brain immediately attributes it to your incredible talent and hard work. If it's negative, your brain swiftly blames external factors. My boss doesn't understand me. The project was doomed from the start. It's a Tuesday. This isn't just a fleeting thought. It's a fundamental cognitive bias where we attribute successes to internal factors, our awesomeness and failures to external factors, everything else. You're not just being a little bit biased. You're living behind an invisible, impenetrable force field of self-affirmation, constantly deflecting reality's harsher truths. The real cringe-inducing part is that this bias is incredibly powerful and almost impossible to turn off. It affects everything from how you remember past events. You remember your successes more vividly than your screw-ups, to how you predict future outcomes. You're often overly optimistic about your own chances. Your brain is relentlessly working to maintain a positive self-image, even if it means distorting reality. It's your brain's relentless personal PR campaign, ensuring you always feel like the hero of your own story, even when you're the bumbling sidekick. So, while you might think you're perfectly objective about your strengths and weaknesses, your brain is telling you a disturbing lie every day, insisting on your unflawed brilliance. It's a low-key red flag that your internal cheerleader is constantly shouting down reality. The self-serving bias shield fact proves that sometimes. The most comforting truths are quietly masking your profound self-deception, and the only thing getting ruined is your humble disposition. Number 4, that your memories are accurate. The rewriting historian. You know how your memories feel like perfectly preserved snapshots of the past, vivid and reliable records of what actually happened. You trust them implicitly to tell you the true story of your life, to define who you are. But what if your brain is constantly telling you a subtle, insidious lie, quietly and persistently rewriting your personal history, editing, embellishing, and even fabricating details without your conscious knowledge, making your past a fluid narrative rather than a fixed truth? Prepare to have your most cherished recollections feel a lot less like facts and a lot more like fiction. Imagine recalling a significant event from your childhood, perhaps a birthday party or a family vacation. You describe it with absolute certainty, every detail crystal clear. What's actually happening is that every time you retrieve a memory, your brain reconstructs it, rather than simply retrieving a file. This reconstruction process is highly susceptible to influence. New information, subsequent experiences, conversations with others, and even your current emotional state can subtly alter the memory each time you access it. You're not just remembering, you're literally remembering, stitching together a story that serves your current narrative. The real disturbing part is that your brain doesn't tell you it's doing this. The alterations are seamless, making the updated memory feel just as real and authentic as the original, which may no longer even exist in its pristine form. This is why eyewitness testimonies can be so unreliable, and why family members often have vastly different recollections of the same event. Your brain isn't maliciously trying to trick you, it's simply being efficient and adaptive. But the consequence is a past that's perpetually in flux. It's your internal historian, constantly updating the archives with new, perhaps entirely fabricated, details, all while assuring you of their unwavering authenticity. So, while your memories feel like solid ground, your brain is telling you a disturbing lie every day. insisting on their perfect accuracy. It's a low-key red flag that your personal history is far more subjective than you realize. The rewriting historian fact proves that sometimes the most foundational elements of your identity are quietly being reshaped, and the only thing getting ruined is your belief in an unchanging past. Number 5. That you're immune to propaganda. The confirmation contortionist. You know how you scoff at obvious propaganda, confident in your critical thinking skills and your ability to spot manipulation from a mile away. You believe you're an independent thinker, unaffected by advertising jingles, political slogans, or the endless scroll of social media. But what if your brain is constantly telling you a massive, self-congratulatory lie, insisting on your immunity to influence while secretly being a master of confirmation contortion, bending and twisting incoming information to fit your pre-existing beliefs, making you a prime target for subtle, insidious persuasion? Prepare to have your intellectual defenses utterly compromised. Imagine encountering information that challenges your deeply held beliefs. Your initial, conscious thought might be to analyze it objectively. What's actually happening is that your brain, often unconsciously, is engaging in a rapid-fire process of bias activation. Information that supports your existing views is quickly accepted and bolstered, while contradictory information is scrutinized, dismissed, or actively reinterpreted to fit your current worldview. This isn't a flaw. It's an evolutionary shortcut. Your brain likes consistency and efficiency, and clinging to existing beliefs is easier than constantly reevaluating everything. So, you become a selective filter, unconsciously filtering out anything that makes you uncomfortable or challenges your narrative. The real insidious part is that this isn't just about stupid people falling for fake news. It's a universal human tendency. Everyone, regardless of intelligence or education, is susceptible to confirmation bias. It's the brain's internal defense mechanism against cognitive dissonance. This makes you incredibly vulnerable to sophisticated propaganda that feeds into your existing biases, reinforcing your beliefs and making you believe you came up with the truth yourself. Your brain isn't just processing information, it's actively curating your reality, often twisting inconvenient facts into convenient fictions, all to protect its precious worldview. So, while you might think you're a propaganda-proof fortress, your brain is telling you a disturbing lie every day, insisting on your unwavering objectivity. It's a low-key red flag that your cognitive defenses are far weaker than you realize. The confirmation contortionist fact proves that sometimes the most pervasive forms of manipulation are quietly operating beneath your conscious awareness. And the only thing getting ruined is your belief in your own impenetrable intellect. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.